Hello, everyone, and welcome to Flickin' Reel, your friendly neighborhood fan cast. We are your source for news, reviews, and daily discourse. I am your host, Jesse Swift. Let me get this out of here. Boop, boop. And I am accompanied, as always, by my co-host, Mr. Scott Fox. How you doing today, Scott?
Good morning, everybody. I'm doing great. I'm ready to talk some movie news.
Some movie news. Yeah, we get to talk about... I didn't think in my lifetime I would be talking about He-Man, but we're going to be doing a little bit of that and talking about some Amazon The Boys news and Bill Skarsgard in not it-related content. So that's pretty exciting. But I wanted to bring on another guest today so that we can have another voice added to the mix. And straight from the Schmodown and the usual suspects, we have the one and only Paige Forbidden.
Hey, party people. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm excited to talk all this movie news today. So there's a lot to chat about. So I'm excited.
There is. And for anyone that doesn't know, this is going to be a Paige heavy day because shortly after this show wraps up, we are going to be at episode 2 of Shark Jumpers, which I'm really excited to dive into and take a bite out of. We're going to be talking about Men in Black and Pirates of the Caribbean. So get ready for that. We also have a fun game plan for that, and we'll be joined by Quiz Show himself, Mr. Jeff. And so that will be at 10:30. So try not to miss that. Before we get into the main topics, though, we did hit 100 subscribers recently, which is fantastic. I would love it if we could hit 200 by September in time for, wedding time stuff. Have another celebration. But if you do want to support the channel, you will notice the link on the bottom of the page right there, www.streamlabs.com/flickinreel. You can submit your comments, questions, concerns, disagreements, all that good stuff. Send that in there so that we can keep having all these wonderful guests and fancy little title card things. Because when the money runs out, I go back to basic. Alrighty, guys. Well, we do have the topics lined up here. So first things first, I'm the realist, but besides that, we are going to talk about Bill Skarsgard, an unexpected addition into John Wick Chapter 4, a franchise that I love. I just very recently introduced Lauren, my fiance, to it. Sean, you know what? You snooze, you lose. And yes. But we will see Sean plenty. I believe Sean will be on next week for the Loki review, along with Kelsey once again. And we'll see who else we bring on there. Anyways, guys, does anyone want to take first jab at this casting of news? It's pretty exciting.
Do you guys think he's going to be playing a killer clown in this film?
I certainly hope so. John Wick versus Pennywise is the crossover I didn't know I needed.
Yes, I'm down for that. I think we need to make that happen. Maybe change some makeup a little bit so he's not so terrifying, but I think we can make it work.
You know what's funny is the makeup doesn't add to the terrifying that much when it comes to Bill Skarsgård, because what he can do with his lips and eyes and stuff, he's a frightening individual.
That's what the terrifying thing is. Those eyes, man. Ooh.
He's borderline getting to the area of being typecast. Everything he gets signed up for, it's like, well, is he going to be putting on clown makeup and everything? But he's a very versatile actor.
Yeah.
And yes. I saw him in Hemlock Grove a little bit, which is really interesting.
It just makes me assume he's going to be a villain in this movie because I cannot for the life of me picture him in anything without him playing some form of a bad guy. He just has that look about him that you always think that there's something mysterious or devious going on behind him. So my assumption is he'll be playing a antagonist in this movie opposite John Wick.
Do we think he's a representative of the High Table then? Because I think it's very much going to be like the Underground with Lawrence Fishburne and John Wick versus the High Table and like the various Continentals and stuff. Is he going to be an owner of a Continental? That would be really cool. Do we get to see Bill Skarsgård do something we haven't before, which is get into a gunfight? There's anything that they do with him in John Wick 4 to me is fascinating. Whether he's a good guy, whether he's a buddy. What was the most recent news that we heard? There was another cast.
It was Donnie Yen, right?
Yes.
Which he obviously is going to be a good guy because he's going to be one of John Wick's like old friends who share same enemies. So I'm assuming Bill Skarsgård is definitely going to be another assassin that is after John Wick. So I can't wait to see him try to kick some ass and take names. That should be interesting.
I'm a fan of anything Donnie Yen. His speed, his ability, his presence is just outstanding. And I've yet to see anything with Donnie Yen in it that I haven't loved, just because of the way he portrays it. And even with Rogue One, where he was kind of a side guy, he stole the show in every scene he was in. He was awesome. And so maybe seeing him and Skarsgard go at it. And who knows? Maybe Bill Skarsgard's going to get trained up in some gung fu and actually get pretty impressive with that stuff.
Yeah, how old is Danny Yen? Like 60 years old, and that dude is ripped out of his mind.
Yeah, he's in great shape. I love any chance I get to see Donnie Yen, and if you're going to have like martial arts focus in some of these movies and stuff, that is the way to go. And I think they've been doing a great job with John Wick. I think the first movie is phenomenal. It's near perfect for what it aims to be. The second one for me was a little bit of a rocky road because it just didn't feel like it hit as much. There's great action in it, but the story was a little meandering.
It was all action.
Yeah.
3, I think, brought it back to like simplifying the plot, because I think that's what two had that didn't work so much, as they had too much going on. And I was like, guys, it's just a John Wick movie. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back.
So the third movie on his dog. So
and the third one's just like, this is John Wick getting away from everyone. I'm like, okay, cool. I can roll with that. Simple premise. Let's go. And the only thing that one suffered from is that last like act 3 or whatever action beat was like 20 people getting thrown through glass, and it lasted like 45 minutes. I was like, okay, I get it. Mike, bring it back, because we brought up shark jumpers earlier. He says, but does anyone drink beer from the skull of their enemy? That is a reference to Drive Angry, which we got to watch for the first time for our Nicolas Cage episode of Shark Jumpers, which is on the channel. After you guys are done watching this, if you want to get prepared for Shark Jumpers episode 2, make sure to check that out. It's a lot of fun. I know Paige is excited to talk about Here Come the Men in Black.
I love Will Smith. But you'll see why stuff hits the fan for me. So
I'm excited because we honestly, me, you, and Jeff have talked a lot less about our picks than I did with Mike and Sean. So this is going to be very refreshing. This is good. Yeah, we were talking for like a week and a half of like all the details. We're reviewing the shows to each other. So this is going to be refreshing. I don't know.
I know with you, I kept like changing my topic too, because I was just like, I don't know what I want to do. And then I just like came up with Men in Black, and I was just like, yes, this makes perfect sense, because that first flick is like so close to like my childhood. Like when it came out in like 99, like, oh.
What is
that? Came out in 99?
Did it?
The first one? I thought it was earlier than that, but
it might have been.
I remember seeing it in the theater when I was in high school, which technically would have qualified in 99.
Okay, no, it was 97. I was
okay.
Close. I'm always like a year or two off.
Sadly, still my sophomore year. God, I'm old. What happened?
That's like crazy. I was yeah. I was young. I mean, I'm 28, so I'm like kind of old, but like.
Wait, are we
born in 93 and it came out in 97.
We're both 93 babies?
We are.
What month? Just for curiosity. April? May. Very close.
Hey.
Very close. All right. With that. Oh, sorry. Did you have more to say?
No, I was just going to bring it back to John Wick. I just want to say that, they, with the John Wick movies, there's, it's going to be action heavy. It's probably going to be very good, very well choreographed, very stylized. So the news of a new casting member, and they've already shown they can integrate a lot of really good actors into the same cast. And so it's a matter of, I kind of like with the MCU, I have faith that whoever they pull in, however they do it, they're going to do a good job putting it together. And at least, regardless of everything else that happens, the story or anything else, it will be entertaining. The visual will definitely be there. So Bill Skarsgård getting added to the cast is just another little checkbox to say, okay, another good actor being brought into a great franchise.
And just on the topic of John Wick, we have to remind ourselves too that I believe it's Chad Stahelski, who comes from the world of John Wick, is going to be doing a Highlander reboot with Henry Cavill. So we're still excited about that. Yes. It's just good news all around for anyone born in the 80s, right, Scott?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And an opportunity. But who's gonna? You know what? I'll get off onto a long tangent about Highlander. Never mind.
That movie is batshit weird, but I'm down for it because I love Henry Cavill. But I feel like it's also going to be like The Witcher because the Odie is playing someone like from back in the day. We shall see though how it all plays out.
It's certainly a film.
But no, I'm excited for this John Wick news because like the cinematography in this film and the fact that like they are bringing it back to like simplifying it now is more of like a bigger picture because now it is going against like the high tables and such like that. And are we still getting the spin-off show or no?
The Continental show?
Yeah.
Last I heard, I haven't heard anything to say that it's dead.
Okay, yeah, because I think we're getting that. We're also getting the female-centric like spin-off, I'm pretty sure, with like the ballerinas.
All Wick, bring it on. I'm
ready for it. Like I'm down for this universe expanding, and I'm glad that they're still, while it's expanding, it's still also keeping with the core of Keanu Reeves kicking major ass.
Can we get Nick Cage in a John Wick movie so that we can once again call it Wicker Man?
I mean, honestly, he would be a pretty good villain, I think. I'd be down for that.
I love this. The John Wick franchise put bulletproof vests on dogs. They have my eternal support.
Yes, no animal cruelty here.
So I'm going to bring up our main title image here really quick because I forgot to save an image of our next topic. But that is right over here on the right side. We see our first look of Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy in The Boys Season 3. Now, I'll say I'm a fan of The Boys. Some people are absolutely blown away by it. It's like one of their favorite shows. It's great. I like it enough to keep watching it. That's kind of where I'm at. Like it's just holding my interest. There's highlights to it, but I feel like I have ADHD sometimes when it comes to shows, and sometimes I feel like it's not going fast enough for me. But that's my personal issue. That's like no one else's, and I understand I'm in the minority there. However, even though I've watched only about 2 seasons of Supernatural, I would consider myself a Jensen Ackles fan regardless, especially for like his voice work in Under the Red Hood, the Batman animated movie. I was very excited to hear that he was being brought on for The Boys, especially in this role, because he originally auditioned to be Captain America. So this is kind of like a redemption story for Jensen. What do you guys think of the suit? What do you guys think of the casting? Are you looking forward to season 3?
Yes, and yes. All check marks for me. I mean, I never really got into Supernatural or anything, but like I've seen episodes and I think he's hilarious. I think he's gonna bring like this feistiness attitude. Like from what I know about Soldier Boy, like the character itself from like the comics is that he pretty much was like the Captain like America for America back in the day. And I can't remember, like, is he like frozen like in time and they're like defrosting him or something?
I think it depends on the version. No, you didn't make that up. I think it depends on the version. I think they've done a couple different Soldier Boy-esque stories in The Boys, so I'm not sure where they'll go. But it seems like when he was referenced by Giancarlo in the last season that he was an older hero. So I don't know what exactly they're doing. It sounds like maybe they might follow the Captain America.
Yes, I'm so down though, because I think we need, because obviously last season we had that crazy Nazi chick. So I'm glad that they're bringing it back. So now that we have, why am I blanking on
Stormfront?
Yeah, no, Stormfront. I know her, but what was the other guy's name? Oh my god. Homelander, yeah. Like I feel like this will be a nice like balance, because I think Homelander is definitely gonna have lots of jealousy. He's also going crazy right now, I feel like.
But Homelander is like a Captain America Superman hybrid, but like more so on the Superman end. And then now we're gonna get like Captain America. And I don't know enough about the Boys comics to really say what I think they're gonna do with the character. Plus, they've definitely been doing their own thing. They take inspiration from the comics, but they're doing their own thing in the show.
I love the show. It's batshit crazy, and that's what I enjoy so much about it.
Scott.
I'm not the biggest fan of The Boys. It's all right. I've seen some of it. It's entertaining, but I'm like Jesse. I didn't get sunk into the story well enough, so I think it's something I have to go back and kind of revisit and kind of give it another go. But I will say, when
you also have to make sure you have a clear room.
Oh my, yeah. Ooh, that's another reason.
With this show, you definitely cannot.
I got 4 kids, so that's one where I'm watching at midnight by myself. But I pulled up the images, And when the image first came up, I literally thought to myself, I'm like, I thought this was supposed to be Jensen Ackles. Like, what? Who is this?
Oh, yeah.
The beard,
Yes.
the haircut, everything.
I love it.
It's such a departure look-wise from what we know of him, because when you say his name, everyone immediately thinks Supernatural. That's the one that comes to mind immediately, and because he's been doing that for, I think, 31 seasons, and so
32.
Oh, sorry, I forgot the first one. But he's been around for so long. But Pat touched on it, and I think he showed it up there, that he should have been playing a hero for the past 2 decades. He's been rumored to be in a superhero role so many times, from auditioning for Captain America to many other things. He's a fan cast automatically for Red Hood if they would ever do a live action iteration of that.
I wanted him to be Ben's Jason Todd before.
Yeah. Everyone wants him as Jason Todd, and so he's been rumored for all these things. So to get to see him actually take on one of these roles and play it, he looks fantastic in the suit. It's definitely got a lot of hints from Captain America, from other heroes, where they're kind of doing their own version, but definitely taking some hints from it. But I was just struck by the fact that it didn't look like Jensen Ackles. It looked like somebody else, and I had to do a double take and really stare at the eyes to see that it was him. But he's as far as a TV show actor, he's with longevity. He's been doing it for a very long time. He's fantastic. And so seeing him ported over from what he did in Supernatural into this is going to be great. And I have full confidence he'll be great in the role.
Oh, yes.
Did you guys see his beard before this image? When
yes.
the workout images released?
Yeah, like
I thought it was
big.
glued on. I thought that was the beard he was going to have for Soulja Boy, and I thought it was fake. I really thought it was fake. And then I saw him working. I was like, wait, that's your facial hair, man? It's out of control.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking maybe like the image we got is like him from like probably like back in the day. And then when he comes now in the scene of the present day with the boys, he's going to have this big beard. And I think he's just going to be like, oh, fuck these new superheroes and all this stuff. Like, I'm the OG. Like,
yeah,
I was the one that helped the wars. Like, I think he's still gonna have that. I think that beard that he has now, that long beard.
Are we gonna Texas like good old boy version of Cap? Are we in kind of like a Walker Cap? Is he gonna be closer to like? I feel like they definitely are going to try to parody Chris Evans. I would love if he's comically Goody Two Shoes. I think would be a lot of fun for Jensen. But I'm fine either way.
Oh, I think he's gonna be like an asshole, like tough shit guy. Be like, no, you guys aren't doing anything right. Like, this is how it gets done. Like,
does he need to be from Baskin?
Mm-hmm.
Well, definitely, if you're looking at his suit, the beard, the haircut, and the shape of the shield, he's like a ripoff of Nomad. And so which is cool. And I'm sure he can pull that off. But I was expecting a bigger beard out of it too. But he looks pretty good, cleaned up in how he's presented, at least in the images they released of what he's going to look like in the role.
Yeah. Like I said, I think that's like flashback scenes of him, like, because there's definitely going to be flashbacks of him like back in like World War II and World War I and such like that. So I think that's him then. I think when he comes to the present and they show him, he'll probably obviously have the same suit, which the costume design on the boys is killer.
The texture work is really
good. What they do is amazing. So really kudos to that team over there.
The way they ride that line of like goofy campy, but also like really good looking suits is, I think it's really hard to do. I think the only person that the suit design doesn't look great seems intentional, and that's Starlight. I think Starlight's suit is like never good, but I think that's part of the joke.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's hit or miss because one, like in the first season, like she made her own costume, and then they gave her this like really sexy costume, and she's like, I don't want to wear this, so let me just wear the one that I made myself. So like I think that's kind of why it has that vibe to it. But oh yeah, besides that costume, I'm not a fan of. Like, I just want to be in the boys so I can have a badass superhero suit. Like,
I'm struggling on the first name right now. Dennis Quaid's kid that's in this show.
Oh my God, why am I blanking too? Hold on, 2 seconds. I follow him on Instagram.
We love Google, but he's the highlight of the show to me, which is crazy because when the show was announced, I was thinking it was going to be Carl Urban, which Carl Urban is
Jack
highlight.
Quaid.
Jack Quaid, awesome. I love him, and the hardest I laughed in the entirety of the show so far was when they crashed into that whale and he's just sitting there in whale guts, and you can see his soul leaving his body. You know?
That's why I love Jack Quaid's character in the role, because
thanks, guys.
It makes us feel like all of us viewers are in Jack Quaid's like shoes.
Absolutely.
Like, we're all in his shoes, and this is how we would all kind of react towards it all. And then, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you have like your team leader is Billy Butcher, aka Carl Urban, like, oh man, this is always reckless.
I love fully unleashed Carl Urban, where he just gets to go all the Australian F-bombs and such. Before we go on to the next topic, I just want to put a reminder one more time that we got streamlabs.com/flickandreel down here. And if you want to, we do have our 3 main topics, but I wouldn't mind talking about some other stuff. I don't think the show's going to run super long today. We do have a little bit of time before the next one. So if there's something else that came out this week that you think that we should cover or briefly mention, send it into Streamlabs. Colin Morris, what's up, buddy? The whale scene in the trailer was the moment my girlfriend looked at me and said, "Yeah, you're on your own on this one, bud." So it says Soldier Boy in the boys comic is a goody good Boy Scout type, I believe. Well, I would love to see that. Between the whale scene and just like the overall SeaWorld animal cruelty, that dolphin that got hit by a truck in the first season.
Okay, that shit was awesome. Have you guys ever seen the whole scene though? Like the dolphins asking for like a hand job, like when everything's like playing out. Like, this show is bonkers, and I freaking love it. I love, like, for me, like, the superhero stuff I like dark and gritty, but this gives us that, but with such a comedic light to it all and that's very adult and mature, that I think this like balances it works off itself so much that it's just so amazing. Can we just real quick talk about the huge orgy scene that's going to be in the new season?
Oh no.
Have you guys heard about this? There's literally an island that the soups go to, and it's just like a huge orgy that they can all hang out.
Scott's and really feeling tempted to watch this.
Yeah, definitely do not watch it with your kids around, Scott. But
all right.
So I may just leave this show up to you guys and let you guys.
He's just gonna look for the scenes with Jensen Ackles.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll definitely be in that orgy.
All right.
And I don't mind watching that.
I know. I'm looking over at Scott, and I can see the waiting and the longing in his face to get to our last topic here, and it's what we've been waiting for. There's a reason we made it the last topic. Scott, before I say, I guess we brought it up already. Had you watched the new Masters of the Universe Revelations trailer before I put it in the notes?
I had seen it come up, but I had not sat down and actually watched it. I had seen it pop up as a on Facebook and YouTube. I'd seen the trailer come up, but I hadn't actually clicked it to watch it. And all I could think to myself was like, here we go. Another feeble attempt to try and reprise the greatest role. I lived through that in the 80s. I cannot tell you the number of times I held up a stick and yelled that in my backyard. And then when we got cheap plastic swords, like, everyone wanted to be. My brother always wanted to be Skeletor, and I was like, "That's cool," because he had Skeletor and Black Panther, and then I had Cringer or Battle Cat and He-Man. We had the action figures from the 80s. We even had Man of Arms. We had all of it. We had the ones where you could hit the chest and it would flip to show battle damage on them. That's how nerdy and old I am.
There was a show, I want to say it was on Netflix, called like The Toys That Made Us.
Yes.
Or something like that. Mm-hmm. And there was an episode on He-Man and the Masters of the Universe where they're saying like it was like the best-selling toy line ever. Like, He-Man was the biggest thing in the 80s. And I feel like it was another time where I feel like I was born in the wrong decade, because I would have loved to have been part of that.
I always say that too, man. I should have been a 70s kid.
Well, it's like all the best, music and movies was the 80s, I think. Personally.
Yes. Oh, 70s and 80s, yes.
So I survived He-Man. I survived many attempts to revive him in different versions. I survived Dolph Lundgren in the live-action version of He-Man, which I actually liked because it came out when I was a kid and I had no idea what good movies were. But I still, because of nostalgia, love the movie. And now to see them coming out with a new one, I'll be honest, I was kind of reserved, it's never going to live up to what I loved as a child. But I will just say that trailer blew me away on so many levels. I was not ready for how hyped up I would be. I want to see that show today. Like, put it on, let's play. It's got so much stuff that I love from my childhood with He-Man, but then also adding in the anime vibe, everything that it has, that thing, and holding out for a hero from the Footloose soundtrack. Are you kidding me?
Okay, that's what got me hooked. Was that trailer was amazing because of the song that they chose. I Need a Hero. Because I mean, I was never really into like He-Man and such like that.
Paige.
So
it wasn't. We didn't like the live action movie and the cartoon was like well before our time.
Yeah,
so
no, exactly. So it wasn't. Yeah, so it wasn't our era. But when I saw this trailer, I literally got goosebumps, and I was just like,
I did too.
yes.
With the music and like even though it was limited voice work, just hearing Mark Hamill as Skeletor and stuff.
Dude,
the visuals were incredible. I was like, this looks so me. And also, if you guys didn't know, I'm legally obligated to talk about this show because Kevin Smith is the executive producer and he's on my faction. So
I was gonna say, dude, and Griffin Newman's in like a voice character in the show too.
Is he?
Yeah, so like a lot of Schmodown tie-in with this
also,
show.
Tiffany Smith is in the show too, and she comes from the Schmodown and the Schmoes Network and stuff.
Yeah, so we know 3 people that are involved in the Schmodown that were part of this. So it's definitely a must-watch, I think, for all of us Schmodown players and lovers, and just anyone that likes He-Man.
Mark Hamill submitted like a voice thing that used to be like the opening for Schmoes Knows for a while.
No fucking way.
Yeah, it's all in there.
It's all tied in. See, we're all one big happy family.
You can't throw a rock into the entertainment world without hitting something Schmodown related.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to look for it. I got to tell you, I wasn't ready for this. I just happened to have the time, and I clicked on it. I clicked on it because I knew Kevin Smith was involved. I was like, let's see what he's been working on. Also, apparently the intro theme is off the chain. But I could have just listened to I Need a Hero at the beginning of every episode. But
yeah.
It's funny.
Honestly, same here. That edit, that cut, oh my God. Whoever made that trailer, like, that was such a good animated series trailer that really got me hooked, at least.
I think you can tell, but I believe I heard that it's the same people that worked on Castlevania, and I think you can tell by the fluidity of the animation and how beautiful it looks. Granted, it's like 2 different themes. One's like a lot more lighter, brighter, colorful. The other one's like dark, dingy hellscape. But the animation style does look really similar, which is kind of like very anime inspired, but like American made. Mm-hmm. Which I'm glad whenever that's done properly. Me and Scott were talking about it a little bit, like Avatar. It's American made cartoon, but like, man, it looks so good. And there's so few and far in between when it comes to those.
The really tall, long lines of all the characters in this really screams 1980s anime, where all the characters are super tall, really lean, long looking. One of my favorite anime movies of all time, is Fist of the North Star. The series that goes with it is pretty good, but Fist of the North Star, the movie, is by far and away my favorite. And when I watched this trailer, it immediately made me think of Fist of the North Star, the movie, because it's got that kind of cyberpunk type of music. And granted, Holding Out for a Hero is not exactly that, but it's got that 80s synth vibe to it. And it just was beautiful. And it made me think of my childhood, the anime movies that I loved, the series that I loved. And it looked so clean. I wasn't prepared for that. I was thinking like another one of the crappy iterations of He-Man that everyone's seen a bunch of, but this actually made me fall back in love with the character, even if it's just a little bit. I'm definitely pumped to see this. So when it comes out, I'll be watching it day one versus waiting for months for it to come out. Hey, Levi.
And it's Netflix too, so we're gonna get it all at once, which is pretty awesome.
Yes, the episode dump where you can be like, I'm gonna binge the whole thing.
At the end of the trailer, it says part 1 in July.
Oh
You guys missed that?
shit!
I wonder how much we're gonna get.
Well, I'll take all of whatever they want to hand out.
That's
Yes.
true. Let's see if we got any. Okay, no suggestions.
I just want to say that the people who are making the trailers nowadays have gotten so much better at it, as far as finding the way they piece them together, they cut them together to almost like the hype videos. They're so much better than they used to be. Trailers, and there's still some crappy ones that come out that you watch and you're like, that did nothing for me. But they're getting a lot better at putting together pieces that will kind of draw you in and get you pumped up. And that trailer did all of those things in order to get you set and ready to go for it.
Oh, wait, hang on.
That's like my favorite. Like honestly, like that's what I do when I'm bored. Like I watch movie trailers. So like this trailer really got me hooked because it's giving us just enough of what we need. It's killer soundtrack, like, and everyone involved in this project is stellar. Like even Jason Long is in. Like Justin, I said Jason Long. Justin Long is.
I've done it before. You're not the first.
Jason Mewes, like there's so many different people. Like I think Sarah Michelle Gellar's like a voice actor in it. Like.
So this is like the animated equivalent of Dark Crystal. You remember how many voices they got involved in Dark Crystal, like Taron Egerton and like Gugu and Mark Hamill, and I love that Mark Hamill. He's probably got his own sound booth, and there's probably like everyone's like calling him every other day. It's like, hey, we need you to do some voice work. He's like, okay.
He does not mind at all.
As long as the check clears, that's all that matters.
Yeah,
I'll read the lines.
Pat's in the chat saying he enjoyed the DreamWorks Voltron series that Netflix did. Netflix has been on one with their animation and stuff, and I know it wasn't originally Netflix, but the Mitchells versus the Machines is incredible. It's so good.
I still need to write my review for that because I saw it like a couple weeks ago. That film, I mean, since we're all movie lovers, I think it just hits close to home for all of us. But that movie is so damn good. Like they're killing it right now with their animation.
Whenever we're like sitting next to each other now, we always go Raptor Bash. I just want to experience about 30 seconds of this. It's not like we're monetized anyways, but let's just play a little bit. Let's get some music going.
I have the power.
All right, cool. That's enough.
Don't want to get any reports on you for using it or anything. No, like the 80s.
Well, that's what I was trying to pause it anyways.
The 80s vibe to it though is so stellar. I'm so excited for this. I don't know what
seeing He-Man or Prince Adam with the cloaked hood over just kind of gave an ominous type of feel to the character as well. Like you're not going to get the same. I wonder what they're going to do with his costume, like as a whole, as He-Man. Like in that trailer, it was hard to kind of get a video or when you just played it because it was choppy a little bit. But and I can't remember off the top of my head, but like all the '80s stuff was like the really tight underwear. That's all that He-Man wore was the loincloth underwear.
I'm okay with that, even though he's animated.
Do you guys think that this new show will lead into, like, supposing it does well, will lead into the possibility of us getting some kind of live action adaptation again?
Well, weren't we supposed to? Wasn't Noah?
Wasn't McG? No.
Noah Centineo was supposed to play He-Man. I can't remember who was involved, the director-wise. Maybe it was McG. But Noah Centineo was supposed to play He-Man in a live-action like Netflix movie, but he dropped out, and I'm assuming he dropped out because he's going to be playing Atom Bomb in Shazam. But I'm like, and for me, I was just like He-Man,
Adam Smasher, and Black Adam.
What did you say?
Adam Smasher, and Black Adam.
That's what I said. Why did I say Shazam? You knew what I meant. You're the inner geekdom guy, so you got me.
the inner geekdom guy's calling you out for saying Atom Bomb and Shazam, so I just have a bam. But no,
like
okay.
I hope. I mean, honestly, I'm so down for it. I would like a live action because Scott, when's the last time we got a live action movie? Have we only had one?
Yeah, for He-Man, that was the Dolph Lundgren 1992 or whatever it was, and and that movie was a movie. It came out. It was released. Yes, it made it in the theaters.
It's amazing how often that happens to Dolph Lundgren, because what a lot of people don't know is that he also played Frank Castle in a film.
Yeah, that Punisher movie was not a Punisher movie. It was a weird type of iteration of it. All I remember from that one is there's a point where a car runs at him and he jumps over the car, kind of doing the splits as he flies over the car in a weird thing in that movie. But that Punisher movie was it was a bad adaptation. But back in the 80s, they didn't realize that if you're stealing from comic books, you need to be a little more true to the comics, or at least have some association. And it was
damn. It wasn't until into the 2000s where they started like cherishing comic material a bit, because the 90s had a lot of whack adaptations too.
Well, when they realized that the comic book fan base is so large and those people have money, because they're the people with good paying tech jobs and they actually pay attention and they're willing to spend the money, and they're coming back to the theater. A lot of those people are hardcore fans that will go and watch it multiple times. The service that is done to comic book lovers now with movies is on such a higher level, where the writers actually source material, whereas they used to be, they would just be like, oh, we're going to take this character, write our own stuff, and throw everything else out. We're just taking the name, essentially. Mm-hmm. And we know Frank Castle was a cop that went rogue. That's the extent of the story that was associated. And so, yeah, Dolph Lundgren has been pigeonholed with multiple of those things. And then I think he's on reviving his role in Universal Soldiers 27 now. So still coming back with those.
Celebrity guest appearance. Once again, that's 2 shows in a row. We have Mr. Coy Jandrew coming on here saying all them Punisher movies have very weird but very different merit. Listen, Thomas Jane is still my Punisher. I think John Bernthal is an incredible Frank Castle. Yes. I couldn't stick with the Punisher show. I loved him in Daredevil, but I have a real hard time with Marvel Netflix. It is just...
I mean, John Burnham, how we say his Bernthal. I got a little sleep last night, and but
Hey, I would be like you, but I had a triple shot Starbucks, so I'm doing just.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you can tell I definitely have bags under my eyes right now. I think I wasn't really into the show, but I would like to see him in a live action like movie playing the Punisher.
Perfect casting, not perfect show running, I think.
Yes, yeah. Even though I think a lot of people thought that show. I mean, I could be entirely wrong. I think a lot of people liked that show though a lot. Like out of like the bunch of Netflix films, shows with Marvel, I think it was that and like Daredevil is what people liked the most.
I think the show was okay, but people more were in love with the character and how he portrayed it than the show as a whole. Yeah, the character was beloved. And so John Bernthal is fantastic, but I still love Tom Jane. Thomas Jane was so good in that movie.
I love how close this here. John Bernthal was closest to the comics. I agree. Thomas Jane was the best in the movie medium. Yes. Ray Winstone is the best for the Marvel Max crowd. Wasn't it Ray Stevens? Or am I making that up? It was Ray something. Okay. But I'm not going to argue.
I'm not the Andrew Geekdom player, so I don't know.
I'm going to look it up right now to see if I should be embarrassed. And Dolph sure is Dolph, which has its merits. Absolutely. We got to see Dolph in Aquaman with red hair and CGI wig. It's fun stuff. This was true. I forgot about this. The season 1 trailer for Punisher was the shit. The gunshots to Metallica's One was Chef's Kiss. Oh, you said Ray Stevenson? I don't schmo. I manage. we will. I'm gonna fact check because if my managers came on here and schooled me, I'm in a bad way.
Hey, Goy has competed. He knows his stuff.
That's true. He has. So has Sam as well.
Not to toot our own horn or anything. Beep beep. Multiple championships.
Okay. So I was still wrong, but I was close because I got thrown off by that Ray Winstone because I said Ray Stevens, who's a singer. It's Ray Stevenson. I won't get that wrong now. Anyways, Sean says he's only halfway through season 2. But we've rambled our way through our last topics, which I kind of, I enjoy the format of this show. We're just going to like burn through 3 topics and then just ramble on about whatever for the last little bit here.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone who showed up on the show. We had Sean, Pat, Coy, Maddie, Colin. Let's do our sign-offs and let everyone know where they can find you. Paige, I will bring you up first.
Oh, I get the whole screen to my face.
You get the whole screen.
Oh,
there you go.
Don't mind my bags, guys. It was a long night last night. No, thank you guys so much for having me on. And you guys can check me out on Instagram and Twitter at Front Page News 9. I also run my own movie blog on Instagram titled Feature Flicks Without the C. So I also there post a bunch of movie news and reviews and all that fun jazz. So when you guys aren't watching the digital format of the movie news, if you guys want to read it, you can check out my Instagram page for all that fun stuff. And yeah, you guys can catch me at it's 1:30 my time because I'm East Coast, but 10:30 I'm gonna be on Jesse's Shark Jumper. So stay tuned, guys. I think it's gonna be really fun. And
it's gonna be a blast.
Oh yeah, I like the Jaw shirt you have on too. Spot on.
Thank you. That's
yeah, guys. Oh nope,
I'll be wearing that later. I was just gonna say I'll be wearing it later.
I don't have a
this is just
shirt,
I got some green themes here, so I just decided with the green inner geekdom shirt. Me and Scott, you can obviously find. I always point the wrong direction. That's this way. Me and Scott, you can always find on the Flick and Reel fan cast. We are working on doing 2 to 3 shows a week now, which has been going to be my first successful week of doing it. It's a lot trying to write this stuff. I was writing stuff for Shark Jumpers. Like I was on there for like 3 hours last night. I woke up at like 6 o'clock this morning doing stuff. So get some sound bites, figuring out some fun activities to do. So again, that is 10:30 PST, which is in about 50 minutes. We're going to be talking about Men in Black and Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's bring up that beautiful graphic one more time. And just a reminder, that's a show that we are going to try to run through Streamlabs and get a lot of interaction through the people watching. We want to get suggestions of what shows and stuff we should do next. Scott is really good about being on our Saturday morning shows, so you can always see him on here talking news and views and giving us the best 80s feedback that we can get here on this channel until I bring Viviani back on. But until then, Scott, anywhere you want to recommend people find you?
I'm occasionally on Twitter at Pastor Dad Fox, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm here on Flick and Reel talking about movie stuff with Jesse as often as I can.
And you can find me, I'll bring this back up. You can find me at Jesse Swift, nice and simple, nothing crazy there on Twitter. Paige is like, there's things everywhere.
Like, when the camera flips, it confuses the hell out of me. I'm like, dude, it looks like I'm just pointing to the wall right now.
That's what I mean. If you do up
I'm
and
pointing
down,
to Scott right now. We're good. And then I'll point down. There we go.
We got some last minute. Corey saying it's so much fun. It's a live action cartoon. Love action is yikes.
English.
Right, not bringing all of those up, but thank you so very much for joining us. Internet. Am I okay? Is it bad?
You're good. It's just a little foggy, but you're there.
It wouldn't be my show if I wasn't losing the internet signal. I blame Coy and the Quirky Mercs. It's contagious. All right, guys. So until next time, please keep it real, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.